Welcome to Radio Boomers Live, the show about all things human from a baby boomer's perspective. All things hot and all things not. News, reviews, interviews, chat, tech, and what's next. And here are your hosts, Reatha Gray from Betty White's Off Their Rockers and Easy's dad, Jim Zuley.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Reatha, and another sunny day in Southern California with so much going on. How do we cover all this, Reatha? I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but it's getting good.
I know.
It's getting good with all the, everybody's coming out of the dreary situation. Jobs are coming back, and so on. And the gold carpet, virtual gold carpet, was amazing. Groundbreaking technology here. And I saw you on the carpet, Reath.
I was on the carpet, and I didn't have to drive to Orange County. That was the most thrilling part to me. I get to be on the carpet. I get to be around all these beautiful people, and I didn't have to drive to Orange County.
That's amazing, yeah. And, you get a lot of feedback. What do people like? Do they are they getting used to this virtual world? A lot of talk about, I didn't have to drive to Chicago to do this. I did it virtually. And I don't know. Do you think times are changing? Maybe people get used to this. But then again, people want to get together too, I guess, after a while.
Well, you miss the human touch, but you don't miss the commute. What can I say? That leads us right up to our hot topic time.
Yes, indeed.
Ripped from the headlines, today's hot topic.
There are so many hot topics today, I couldn't even pick one. We've got about 24 hours, I guess, before we have the presidential debate. We've got fires in California still, and some of them still aren't even contained, and these have been some of the worst fires in California history. We've got storms still happening back east. I think they said it was the first or second time that they've gone through all the names, and now they're using, I think it's Greek alphabet. It's just amazing what's going on around the world. And thank God for technology, because I've been able to communicate with my friends back east. They know that I'm not on fire, and I know they haven't drowned. So that's the good news. But it's amazing all the things that are going on now. The controversy over the voting, I'm pleading with people, please vote. Because if you don't vote, there's going to be a debate over the election no matter what. But if everybody votes, there will be a clear, decisive winner and loser. So please vote. So we have that going on. And Jim, it's just overwhelming out there. So, like I said, I couldn't even pick one this morning. So what's your hot topic today?
Well, when you said hot, we've gone through a little bit of the hot situation out here, but roughly 6 months after the coronavirus outbreak began to create havoc, as we've been talking, on the U.S. economy, approximately half of those who lost their jobs say they're still without one. Airlines laying off tens of thousands due to the coronavirus fallout. United Airlines, 36,000, American, 17,000, and the list goes on. Over 6 months, and over 60 million Americans filed for unemployment. That's more than the number of claims filed during the 18-month Great Recession. On the upside, businesses are reopening all over, and there's a lot of safety guidelines there, though they're finding out in the restaurants and everything, the mask, the distancing, washing hands. But overall, things are, starting to pick back up again. Unemployment fell to 8.4%, so it's a major comeback. The Fed Chair Powell says interest rates are likely to remain low for years. Today, 30-year fixed, averaging about 3%. That's really low. And don't forget, whatever rate's out there, you can always buy down. So it kind of depends on your credit and other variables. Louisiana and surrounding areas still recovering after the hurricanes left 170,000 without water and over 300,000 without power. Flooding, the flooding situation and the jobless and the COVID left the region really stunned. But residents are resilient and coming back and cleaning up. President Trump nominated Amy Coney Barrett, if I pronounce that right, for the Superior Court. It's controversy. I mean, everybody seems to like Amy, but on the Democratic side, there's people who don't because they're afraid the way the votes might turn out on some issues. Some of the California fires have exploded once again, unfortunately, as blazes ignite, and a lot of the existing areas, the fires are growing. California has yet to reach the peak. That's the problem of the fire season. Wildfires across the state have already burned more acres than any year in recorded history with us. 2.2 million acres burned in the recent fires. The campfire is a big one. Now 100% contained, so that's a big one. 14,000 homes were born. President Trump on a state-by-state campaign met with 1,000 supporters, while on the other side, Joe Biden is playing it safe, laying low.
Found on the screen.
And he's playing it safe with the town halls. So anyway. Rates low, jobs coming back, housing strong. Got to think positive, and that'll wrap it up.
Absolutely, got to stay positive.
Got to stay positive through all this. Yep. And with that,
next
Reatha,
we're going to have a positive word from our sponsors.
A little commercial time here.
Looking to take the next step? Join the EZWay network and become part of our EZWay family. Host your own TV show. Accelerate your viewership, as you will be seen on platforms such as Roku, Amazon, Apple. Brand yourself and affiliate yourself with celebrities, artists, influencers, and power players. For more information on how to start your own show, channel, or network, go to EZWayPromotions.com. To stay updated on all our upcoming events, text EZWay to 55678.
EZWay magazine is your best vehicle to advertise in if you would like to reach a quality database in corporate Hollywood. Not only will you read the stories and enjoy the content, you will also get to interact through social media and get to meet who's featured at the event, as well as get exclusive interviews from your favorite celebrities. EZWay magazine is a Los Angeles and Orange County-based magazine, but also reaches an international audience. Subscribe to EZWay magazine today by following EZWay Broadcasting on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or EZWayBroadcasting.com's website. To advertise, call 424-209-9290 or email contact@EZWayBroadcasting.com. That's letter E and letter Z, because we don't do it the hard way. We do it the easy way.
Are you looking to accelerate your influence? EZWayWall.com is a new site that allows you to promote yourself, business, brand, and your products as an influencer. You can share your ideas, receive comments, promote and brand yourself with the power of affiliation. Associate yourself and your brand with the power players of today to become leaders of tomorrow. Come and join the EZWay Wall today. Sign up at wall.EZWayBroadcasting.com or text EZWay Wall to 55678.
Yes, indeed. And October 5th, EZWay Awards Virtual Golden Gala is growing by leaps and bounds here. We have the amazing, groundbreaking virtual golden carpet, which knocked people's socks off. And then October 5th, we're moving into the actual event. And we have a very unique and interesting guest coming up, our own David Eugene Andrews. And actually, I've done some research, Reatha, and he might have been the first person who took a selfie. He actually, and talk about famous, he actually got a picture of the World War II, the head of Japan's Hirohito himself coming out of the Emperor's Palace. But I'm going to just go over a little bit of this. Dave is, he loves languages. This is very interesting. German, Chinese, Italian, French, Dutch. His travels have taken him to the Far East where he learned Mandarin on top of all that. And he studied Chinese art, and in the Middle East, where he first saw the Great Pyramids of Egypt while riding horseback across the desert. He went with a friend into Europe, where in the height of the Cold War, AP photographer captured him bearing an American flag while shaking hands with the Russian holding a Soviet flag. The iconic picture from 1984 Winter Olympics, Sarajevo, Bosnia, hit the front page of USA Today and other newspapers. Now, how about that for an interesting background? Following the fall of Saigon, David worked as Vietnamese refugee camp as the camp was set up. He had English as a second language and classes across the state of Washington. While living in Oregon, he co-chaired an internationally affairs synopsis in the Middle East. And, I mean, I could go on and on with this. He's the founder of the Author's Cube, and he wrote the book series Empires and Kingdoms, International Forecaster. So we'll ask him about that. But is that an interesting past and background? And we're going to bring those books to life. David, Eugene, Andrews, are you on with us?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
There he is. Dave,
yeah,
here's Reatha.
Hi, David.
Reatha, you know Dave.
Hi, Reatha. I saw you on the gold carpet on Saturday. You looked.
Oh my!
Yes, indeed.
You must have been busy behind the scenes because I didn't see you, but there were a lot of people there.
I'm behind the scenes. I was behind the scenes this weekend.
Well, I was going over Reatha, Dave's little bit of bio here, and it's page after page. Speaking Mandarin and his trips to China and all over the world. When you get to travel like that, it's such a benefit because you have all these memories. So, Dave, you got any bucket list? I mean, you've been all over the world. Any places you'd still like to go?
Yeah, on my bucket list is Alaska. I've been to 49. I've been to 49 states, and I have this craving for Alaskan king crab, fresh. So I'm going to have to fly to Anchorage one of these days. I know. And the reason is I made it to Maine, and I had their Maine lobster fresh. So if I made it to one corner having lobster, I have to make it to the far corner having Alaskan king crab.
There you go. Well, maybe you can meet with Reatha up there because I know she wants to do some scuba diving underneath those glaciers.
No. I don't want to scuba dive in that cold water, but Alaska is one of the places that I have been, but I didn't really get to explore it.
That's they're saying explore it now before all the ice melts away, but I think that'll be a while. When you see how much ice is there. Come on. So, Dave, you have.
I don't know.
It's already snowing up now.
Oh yeah, you've got your series of books, and a lot of people out there have ideas about writing. They want to get something out there, leave a little legacy. And yours is Empires and Kingdoms, and it's a 5-book series, right?
Well, it was a 5-book series. I think I have enough material for 8 books now.
8 books. So what I see here,
this series keeps growing and growing and growing, and to see David, he's like, I think of him as like Superman. He's this mild-mannered person when you meet him, and then he has all this whole life that's been happening.
All this stuff going on. Yeah, meeting with all these people all over the world and so on, getting pictures of Hirohito. That's not your average guy, So what I see here, Dave, is some of these books. See, Dave writes books, and I've read some of them, and they just come to life. He words it where, as you're reading, he describes the vase that's on the table in the emperor's quarters and all this kind of stuff. So you're panning through the room and you can see it all. So what do you think, Dave? We're put together one of the series, like a television series, like you see the Roman Empire and so on. I think this would be great for something like that. You got that on the back on your list?
Oh yeah, that's on the list. But eventually, that's what. First of all, that's what attracted me to EZWay. It's just it seemed like a good place to contribute what I can, and then maybe an opportunity at some point in the future will lead to either film or movie, big picture, or television series because I have a lot of material. So
now your material is it fiction, nonfiction? It's true stories like Joseph Smith. I've talked to you about that. This is all real stuff, but then you add in your own spin because nobody was there. We don't remember that actually what happened, but you take factual situations and your research, and I've seen you sent in for books with pictures of the city back 200-300 years ago. So you take that and you put it together with your own little synopsis, and you create the story, right?
That's right. Because when I do a movie or whatever, I do buy books, old books out of copyright with pictures of different scenery. Like the one I'm looking at now is in Vlissingen, Zealand, which is really Flushing, the town of Flushing in Zealand, which is in the Netherlands. And Captain John Smith was Captain John Smith of Pocahontas fame, and he fought in Europe and became a captain in Hungary before he ever came to Virginia. And so we all know him as the person that Pocahontas met, and Pocahontas actually saved his life, but it wasn't the first time his life had been saved by a beautiful woman.
Pocahontas was real, not just fictional. So there's I have a close friend, a co-author, and she's a direct descendant of Pocahontas and John Rolfe. Captain John Smith did not marry Pocahontas, like Disney said, but she did marry a farmer who introduced tobacco to Virginia, and his name was John Rolfe. When you get into some of that stuff, it's really interesting. Like people think, oh yeah, Pocahontas, it was fictional character. And then you find out they're real, and when you start getting into some of their story, it's like, wow, what a life, Pocahontas meeting John Smith and what happened.
Now that's the first book, right?
Well, that's the basis for the series is Captain John Smith was fighting the Ottoman Turks in Eastern Europe, was wounded, left for dead on the battlefield, and sold into slavery at Axiopolis, an Ottoman border town on the lower Danube, and sent to Aisha, who I identified for the first time as the sister of the Ottoman Sultan Mehmet III. And so my language ability allowed me to, even though I don't know Turkish, at least I can. Captain John Smith wrote his memoirs, and he used phonetic terms. And so phonetically I was able to see that she was referred to as sister or sibling of a king. And there's only one king. Re was the Latin term. And that would be the Sultan himself, the most powerful man in the Ottoman Empire. And the Ottoman Empire was huge. It had all Hungary, all Europe had all of northern Africa, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Yemen. They conquered Yemen. They conquered part of Persia. They had southern part of Russia and Ukraine. Crimea was at their allies. Hungary, Romania.
So you have experience writing these books. We have listeners out there. Okay, now they're thinking, how do they start? And what advice? Like you've been through some trials and like goods and bads and maybe what to do, what not to do. What advice would you give them as far as Mary or Bob is out there? I want to write a book. What are a couple of tips, of bullet points you can give them? Like try to stay away from this and concentrate on that.
Well, I mean, you write what you know, and so I probably spend more time researching. Historical fiction is very research intensive. So if you're not a researcher, you have to write about what you know, your own life experiences. I find it more interesting to write fiction, although I've published 50 articles in nonfiction even before I started writing fiction. and you pick a protagonist, the person that that will move the story forward, whose values you may identify with, and then you have an opposition, that antagonist, which can either be internal, or it can, and more likely it's going to be an external bad guy, so to speak. And so you just build up the story based upon the good characteristics of the person and the bad characteristics. And no one's 100% evil and people-wise, and no one's 100% good, when you're talking about human characters. So you have to look for the redeeming quality in the bad guy, and you have to look for the weakness in the good guy, and then round out the character. So that's it's
so there's a formula.
Formula. There is a formula. I wrote nonfiction. I did international economic forecasts for Chase Econometrics in the 1980s and built a world econometric model. So I think in mathematical terms more than most people. But when I decided, I found a story about Captain John Smith being sold into slavery, and I said, oh, that story hasn't been told. And so I actually, even though I published 50 articles already, so I was an editor of the international department, and so I published a lot every week, at least 10 pages of my own, maybe 50 pages of other people's. But I read 50 books, maybe 60 books, on writing fiction after I was a published author. So, so I had to learn about plots and characters and how you weave it in. Even in nonfiction, you have to have a storyline. And, are things getting better, for example, on the economic front? Or are they getting worse? What's the risk one way or the other? So.
Now that picture was kind of, the iconic picture from the '84 Winter Olympics in Sarajevo, where you were on the front page of the USA Today, newspapers all around the world. That had been kind of interesting, huh?
That's in, when I talk about writing what you know. I was in Bosnia. That was, the Winter Olympics was in Sarajevo, and that's Bosnia. So I was there before the Olympics started and there after the Olympics ended. So, I went to a Turkish coffee shop, and we were kind of, before the visitors came in there, we were a couple days early. And, there I knew, trying to figure out who this American is.
Who's that guy?
And all. So, and drinking coffee at 10 o'clock at night, it's like, not, and they're, and that's a place, there was a huge war right after there. The Olympic Stadium where I, where they had the opening ceremonies is actually now is a cemetery because so many people died in that conflict. So, but it gave me an opportunity to know Eastern Europe a little bit, where they're both Muslims and Christians, and they're, it's an interesting world
scenario. And the statement that you may have taken the first selfie is quite iconic. But how, real quick, how did that come about? Because actually, when you did that, you didn't see selfies. So that was going back. Tell us quickly about that little situation.
Yeah, I got to find that picture. It's in storage, and I looked for it last Thanksgiving. I'll look at it again. It's in a box. So basically, I was a paper boy, and so I bought myself a Kodak Instamatic camera. Okay, there's two types of. You either have 35 millimeter camera, a Polaroid camera, or then the new Kodak Instamatic. So the first picture I took when I was like 13, and this is in the 1960s, is I have real long arms, and so I just put it out there and took a picture of it. Picture of myself as the first picture off the roll. I thought it looked kind of like distorted, so I never really did anything.
I'm trying to. The problem with you, Dave, is you have so much stuff. I'm reading that it'd be interesting to go over a lot of this stuff. But you're also the founder of Author's Cube podcast.
Yeah, Author's Cube is. I'm just starting that. I bought. I tried to start it several months ago, and then realized that my 7-year-old MacBook Pro wasn't up to speed for doing live streaming. So I saved a little bit of money and upgraded my equipment. So I finally got a 4K camera last week. So I will start Author's Cube, and basically I'll go over those things I touched upon earlier on how to write and for more to be a service to people, to aspiring authors. Maybe link up with some authors who want to help out, and we just explore different aspects of writing, telling your story.
Needless to say, you co-chaired the International Affairs Synopsis on the Middle East during the oil crisis, and we don't have time to go on, but I'm reading down, each one would be such interesting. That what was it like to deal with these top people? But how would people get a hold of you to contact you for your book, to get a book or whatever?
I have Empires and Kingdoms. My Facebook page is probably for Empires Kingdoms is the best way to follow just the general aspect of that series. I think there's like 80,000 plus likes on that page. So I do try to post every week on that. A lot of times just the pictures of the different areas I'm interested in that week.
I remember seeing you at an event with celebrities all around you. LinkedIn?
I'm on LinkedIn. There's Instagram too. Although I know I'm not a swimsuit model, so you don't have to follow me there.
Well, we want to thank you.
I don't know. It might be your next career.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more sit-ups, I think.
Well,
before
Dave,
I have
thanks
that
for coming on. We're cut on time here. We got to move along, but this is the Empires and Kingdoms is really coming together. I love the novels, and we give you a lot of credit for your accomplishments and everything, and I hope to have you back again, and we'll be keeping in touch.
Okay, yeah. The next book out is Rebellion and Deceit.
All right, Rebellion.
Okay. Always great talking to you, David.
And with that,
it's good talking to you, Reatha and Jim, and you have a great show today.
Thank you much, Dave.
Thank you.
And talk about interesting stuff here. I'm reading, and we just don't have time to go over so much Dave has done. But with that, Reatha, I think we're moving into a commercial, and then Carmelita's Corner.
3 great influencers have joined forces to create a space for you to be the expert, get credibility, and be a best-selling author. Get acquainted with the EZWay Wall of Famers and reach a celebrity status with EZWay Publishing, powered by NLCP. Get seen on the cover with EZWay Wall of Fame celebrity influencers. Get the credibility you deserve for being a published author. Best-selling status guaranteed. Increase your credibility, maximize your presence affordably and effectively. Enjoy your new life with EZWay Publishing.
EZWay Magazine is your best vehicle to advertise in if you would like to reach a quality database in corporate Hollywood. Not only will you read the stories and enjoy the content, you will also get to interact through social media and get to meet who's featured at the events, as well as get exclusive interviews from your favorite celebrities. EZWay Magazine is a Los Angeles and Orange County-based magazine, but also reaches an international audience. Subscribe to EZWay Magazine today by following EZWay Broadcasting on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or EZWayBroadcasting.com's website. To advertise, call 424-209-9290 or email contact@EZWayBroadcasting.com. That's letter E and letter Z, because we don't do it the hard way. We do it the easy way.
And it's time for Carmelita's Corner.
You are about to experience Carmelita's Corner. Carmelita's song Rosebud made it to the top 40s with the godfather of soul, James Brown. She's the founder of the Rose Breast Cancer Society. Now here's your host, Carmelita Pittman.
Well, hello there. How are you all doing out there in Radio Land? I know we're doing fine. You got to stay ahead of things and stay safe. And most of all, I want to bring you two exciting guests today. I am so pleased to have my dear friend, Kathy Merrick. We go way back. She hails from Washington, D.C. She's a singer, songwriter, performer. She's a founding member of the hit Top 10 trio, Shades of Lace. They were on the Wing Polygram label. They have had many, many hits, and she has scored multiple media magazines, TV shows, including Soul Train with Don Cornelius. She's performed with the group live at Apollo with host James Brown. She also was on Nippon Columbia Records with the Japanese recording group ASAP. She's been on world tours with James Ingram, Boz Scaggs, Christian Castro, Johnny Gill. She's done commercials. Her voice has been on many TV shows. She's also performed with the Jacksons, Kool and the Gang, Pointer Sisters, Dennis Edwards and All-Star Temptations. Should I say more? Anyway, we've got Kathy Merrick and her husband, John Parrish, who is the exclusive drummer for Earth, Wind, and Fire. He has toured, as you can imagine, around the world with Earth, Wind, and Fire and done many studio projects. He's also performed with David Foster, Whitney Houston, Natalie Cole, J-Lo, one of my favorites, by the way, and Patti LaBelle, and I love them all. And here are our guests, Kathy Merrick and John Parrish. They have a musical project that you've got to hear about. Welcome to Carmelita's Corner.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, hey. How are you?
Hey. Hi, Carmelita.
How are you, neighbor?
Neighbor? Oh, my goodness. Are you that close to me?
No, Carmelita, remember, we used to live around the corner from you.
Oh, that's right. That's right. For I don't know how long. It's been a long time ago, but you were here for a long time, too, as my neighbor, right around the corner.
Yep. Well, thanks for having us on the show.
Yes, I'm so happy to have you. And I know that long list that I just read off is only a tip of the iceberg, because we've got a musical treat for our guest today. And I would like to hear a little bit of that and see if we can get that started, and then let's talk about it. Okay. Daniel, are you there?
Daniel.
Here we go.
Yay.
Ism should be dead, but it's still alive. It makes me angry, such a pet peeve of mine. We may be different, but we're really the same. The only difference is the body in which we came. Still we're fighting to show how much we
my. That is fantastic.
Thank you.
You definitely have the voice. That's for sure. And you've got the voice, Kathy. You're sounding as great as ever and looking as great as ever, I have to say. You're breaking hearts because you've already been taken. I have to beat them all away. You know, tell them she's already married. Come on. Oh, wow.
Well, thanks for playing that for us. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad everybody got to hear it. I want to see that get out there like all your other hits.
No, thanks for giving us the voice. You know, you're allowing us to have the platform.
Yes, and you know we've got wonderful listeners around the world. So we've given them all a musical treat this morning, and I love the message. Can you tell us how you came about to write that song, and did you both write it together, or where did that come from?
Well, we both wrote it together. John usually covers the music part, and I usually cover the lyrics and the melody, and we work on the melody together. But I was inspired to write it because when Harvey Weinstein was on the news all the time, and Rose McGowan was protesting and fighting for her rights, I was inspired to write that. To write an anthem / inspiration song for women and men who feel like they don't have a voice or the strength to stand up for themselves against the powers that try to oppress the voice.
Yes, and we certainly have been up against that particular issue for a long, long time.
Yes.
And it is time for a change. I mean, we're talking about change. We need change.
Amen. And it's funny because I wasn't trying to make it political, but more of an affirmation, inspiration, something that, that will empower us. And then not just for women, for men too, because, men get treated unequally as well sometimes.
Yes, it
They're
happens.
a small percentage, but they need a voice too.
Yes, and after all these years, Susan B. Anthony's pledge to give women equal voting rights is still could possibly be, affected by the voter suppression. Let's just give it the name of what it is, voter suppression. It's really, really unfortunate that in this day and age we're, now in the year of 2020 that this is still going on. It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Right. And we wrote the song 2 years ago, and it's still relevant.
And we must make sure that everybody can vote. I don't know if anybody's heard of Fannie Lou Hamer, but she actually risked her life, and she was actually blinded in one eye. She was beaten so badly by the sheriff at that time in the South. She was trying to get equal voting rights, which everybody should have if they're American citizens, but they gave her a lesson that they thought that she would never forget, but she never stopped fighting for equal voting rights for all of us. And that's something we cannot take for granted. We must vote.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
And we're at risk of losing those rights.
Yes, and things being turned backwards to the 16th century if everybody doesn't wake up and step up to the platform, because it really is serious. This is very, very serious. So anyway, Kathy, I'm going to get off of that for a minute because we want to hear more about your journey. When I first met you, it was through Bonnie Hilton Sweeney with two of your two lovely co-singers. You had a wonderful trio of Shades and Lace with Lisa and Vivian. And they were just amazing. I mean, all of you together. Now, who did most of the writing for that group?
Well, we were working with our producer, Lionel Job, and he brought in Preston Glass, who did a lot of songs for us. One of our singles that was released was written by Preston Glass and oh my God, Michael Walden. Oh my God, you know, I'm becoming a senior citizen.
No, you're doing great, Kathy. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but
no, that's okay. Michael Walden is one of my favorites. I grew up listening to him when he was Narada. Michael Walden. He was doing mostly jazz fusion, and I love jazz fusion.
Oh, but, so do I.
You know,
yeah.
So when he collaborated with Preston, I was on cloud nine. It's like, wow.
And you know, Preston Glass is a household name for those in the industry who know his work. He's, you really were out there in the top, and you were on the same label with Vanessa Williams, as a matter of fact.
Yes. As a matter of fact, Vanessa was signed first, and then he signed Lace, and we were on the label with Tony, and who else was on the label? Well, anyway, yes, we were with a lot
you
of
were out
great
there.
people.
And do you remember the time I brought my students from Horace Mann Junior High School in the limousine to visit you? We had a lace art contest. And so the contest was for them, these are junior high school kids, to not redesign, but to design a album cover for Lace, and the winners were transported by limousine, Pittman limousine, of course. Remember those days?
Yes.
And we had a ball. All those kids enjoyed it so much. They were up there going nuts with looking at all those gold records, and oh my gosh, it was just so much fun.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I think Stephen Campfield, who was one of the executives up at Wing Records, I think he has a picture on his Facebook page of that day.
You know,
show it to you.
I wish that one of those photographs that we took together that I had now, because it got damaged, unfortunately. And I believe Gerard McLeod took those photographs, because I saw his name on the back of some of those photographs. And, you know, he's a celebrity photographer. He's all over the place. And I hope he's listening in now. He's over in the Philippines. You remember Gerard?
Yes, I do, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he was one of the members of Bonnie. He was part of Bonnie's posse for a long time. I mean, in the early days when she first started the pre-Grammy galas, he was there in the very beginning when she built it up. So anyway, I want to talk to John about what's it like being a drummer for Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Okay. I've run out of adjectives trying to describe that. I can't, and I pale. You know, I can't. I don't know. It's absolutely been a dream of mine. I've always been a band guy. You know, I never was really, that concerned about, being a lead singer or out front. I just love the part of the ensemble and part of what really makes the whole thing click. I love that part of it. So, I'll tell you a really quick story. And, about the band situation, I was praying about it one day. I grew up in the Bay Area where there were tons of bands, probably like every major city. And we wanted to be like them. We wanted to be, I love the message music, church boy, grew up in church, so my grandmother wouldn't have me out there, with no crazy stuff. So I'm like, oh, man, these messages are incredible. So I actually prayed about it. And I was like, we have conversations like I would with anybody else. I'm like, you God, you can do anything. I'd love to be in a band like Earth, Wind, and Fire. And that was my plea. That's what I said, and went on to whatever else was on my heart. And he didn't put me in a band like Earth, Wind, and Fire. He put me in I'm getting ready to get up and start running right now, but he actually put me in the band and I've been, drooling and having my mouth wide open ever since. Having a great time playing this music. Incredible.
Well, their music is phenomenal, and they're one of the top groups of all times. I have some Earth, Wind, and Fire stories of my own because many years ago I met a lady named Jackie Hilliard.
Do tell. Yeah.
Who discovered me when I was singing and doing a recording session, and she took me under her wing. This is way back in the day now. Took me to having a meeting in her home. She lived. If you go back to those days, you remember Jackie Hilliard?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I figured you would. Yeah, because she told me that she had actually rescued the rhythm section of Earth, Wind, and Fire, and she said that she took members from different places. One of them, I can't remember his name now, was from, I believe, Texas. Anyway, you guys all got together and did rehearsals and recordings in her home, in her recording studio that was there in her home. And I believe that it was Maurice White who I must have met that day that I was there one day. And I actually had an opportunity to join the group. Would you believe that?
What?
I came that close to being a member, and I brought Munyongo with me one time to one of those meetings. And Munyongo Jackson, he plays timbales, and Earth, Wind, and Fire. They were impressed with Munyongo. And he could have been in Earth, Wind, and Fire, but I couldn't do it because teaching school full time, you can only do one thing or the other. I had a great manager at the time, Louis Gray, and he said, "Look, you got to make up your mind. Either you're going to be in the classroom or you're going to be on the stage." And I chose the classroom because my mom was responsible for my career. I would never let her down. So. I still, Kathy, as you know, I still sneak the show business stuff, and I even perform for my students in the classroom. But it was such an amazing moment when I met Maurice back in the days. I didn't even know who he was at that time.
Well, it's not too late.
You know what?
Not too late.
I still do my thing. I think anybody who knows me knows I still do my thing. And you heard some of my music at the beginning of this show, the song that made the top 40 with James Brown. So I'm still out there doing my thing, folks.
That was you?
Yeah.
That was you in the beginning? I love that song.
Oh, that was you? That was you, Carmelita?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. We have to talk later. We have to talk.
I'm still doing stuff, and many opportunities. God is opening many doors for me, and I know that, I'll do make a little noise before I check out of here. I've got maybe at least 2 good more years left.
Come on now.
Yeah. You know what? My mom actually left this earth when she was only 2 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
I look a lot younger.
Well, that's okay. You don't have to accept that. You don't have to accept that.
That's right.
Yeah, you can be
knows.
around. We got stuff to do. Yeah, we got business to take care of now. You open up a whole other can of worms. It'll probably take more than 2 years. So.
And you're still working at it. So.
Well,
but you know what?
I keep busy.
I have to say, teachers never get the credit that they're due, and so
that's absolutely
even though
right.
you detoured from the music business, teaching is just as much an importance. I mean, we don't give enough praise to teachers, and so I praise you.
Absolutely.
Well, teaching was a trip in itself, and those became my babies. Even when I was dealing with the hard heads, because after I left, which was in 1989, one of my friends who knew me had gone on to Inglewood Opportunity School, meaning giving these kids who had been kicked out another chance. And so I had gone from having dealt with the Crips, where I was at before, because they were you probably remember those days. They were around.
Yeah.
One of them actually gave me a blue sweater with silver sequins, which I still treasure to this day. I mean, that was his
Wow.
gift to me. But then I went on to the other place, and I was in blood territory. So those became my babies. And I got them on stage. 1991, June 1991 was when James Brown had this big concert at the Greek Theater. And he had a rap record out called Killing Is Out, School Is In, because that was during the Columbine shooting days. And so I had all my kids. He wanted about 40 of them up on stage with him. And so those are the kind of things I did as a school teacher.
Yeah, major influence.
Awesome. Absolutely. That's what it's about. Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, well, listen, guys, as I said before, I'm very honored to have you both on Carmelita's Corner here on the EZWay Broadcasting Network. And I'm so proud of the video that you have produced. I recommend everybody to check it out, and I want to see that climb to the top charts and make its voice heard, because the message is so important. And I'm so happy to see women becoming more empowered, and we've got to make sure that we've got the right people that are leading the country to make that possible, because this suppression, this putting them back in the kitchen, remember that, keep them pregnant and barefoot and in the kitchen, that's not working anymore. Those days are over. But so we don't want that to be in danger of coming back, because this person that's up for judge, she's a member of the far conservative Catholic handmaiding group, and they believe in separate. She believes in separate but equal, and she believes in basically that premise that the man, he's in charge. You have to do whatever it is that he says do, and so they want to take us back to that, and I think people.
It's not
people need to be aware of what is really being on the table right now. They need to be aware.
That's right. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, I see that the youth are so unified. They don't see color the way we see color. They don't see the same as the older generation sees things. And I think that they would definitely take to the street, which they are. They're out protesting now together. They'll fight against that, because that's not how they grew up. That's not even their life.
Yeah, and unfortunately that protest, which is a guarantee under the First Amendment, freedom of speech, has been affected by infiltrators who are posing as protesters. And they want to throw it out. They want to make it look ugly instead of celebrating the freedom that we have. And everybody just really needs to be on guard, because we could be in danger of losing our democracy at the rate we're going now.
No question about it.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
We need to get that message out, too.
Yeah. It's got to get out. If you want to save your country, save the democracy, you've got to, be alert and be aware and get the right message out there.
That's right.
Okie doke.
That's right.
So listen, folks, I'm so happy to have you both on. John, I'm meeting you for the first time, I think. I might have met you before, who knows? But can you imagine we lived around the corner from each other all these years, and you're just now discovering my music?
I know, that is amazing. That is crazy.
Yes.
But thank you so much for having us. We appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Carmelita.
Okay, thank you so much again. And is there anything you want to say about how they can hear your music before we head out of here?
Well, our main platform is YouTube. So just put in Kathy Merrick. We have a voice, and it's right there.
We have a voice, everybody. Look them up on YouTube.
Do. Go to the voting booth. We have a voice. There it is.
Especially at the voting booth. November 3rd.
Vote.
Okay. All right. Thanks
again.
Carmelita. And I have
Thank
a
you so
saying
much
at the
for having
beginning,
us.
at the end, I should say. We're getting ready to head out of here. Either you can get on your horse and ride up on into the sunset, or you can get in your Ferrari. You take your choice.
Look for the Ferrari.
Okay, it's a little faster.
Yes, enjoy.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Interesting guests. It's amazing. She gets all these guests. And we're going to, we've got a situation coming up October 5th. The EZWay Wall of Fame virtual Golden Gala is coming up, and we just had an amazing, very unique golden carpet, God's golden carpet in a virtual way. And we're going to see if we can get some people on board here to talk about all the stuff that's going on. And it's a new age, everybody's, they're home, and a lot of them are doing business from home, and they're adapting, and some of them are getting used to it and saying, you know what, I think I like this. And I think it's, I don't know if the landlords will like this, but in a lot of these office situations, it's going to save people a lot of money by staying home. So, let me see. Do we have anybody on?
Angelique is on.
Hi, Angelique. So thanks for popping on. And we're just, everybody's so excited. And I know you've been big part of this situation with the gold carpet and everything. And whoever pops on, just let us know. But Angelique, what do you think? We've got such a great response from everyone as far as the uniqueness of this carpet leading up to our October 5th event. Kind of a new territory for everybody, right?
Yes, it's very unique and very innovative, and nobody has attempted to do this before. So, of course, there are some kinks we have to work out.
Well, there's always that,
As always, and I just appreciate everyone's patience and understanding as we strive to do something unprecedented.
To not have kinks would mean you've been there before and you took care of any kinks that could have been there. You got them straightened out. So we haven't been on this ice before. This is it thin? Is it whatever? And
exactly.
It's such an innovation, and it's exciting to have people. I saw you can go in different rooms, and while you're in those rooms, the green room and so on, people think, well, wait a minute, this is virtual. Yeah. But the people were going in the rooms, and you could see who's in there by looking at their little pictures, and they could actually intermingle with each other, right?
Talk to each other and network, yes. In the waiting room, which is our green room, people were at different tables, and they could network and talk to each other, and it was a really nice way to unite and connect on a virtual level, yes, but it was great, like seeing all your old friends. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
you would on the carpet. So that was really nice. People came after the carpet and after the press box. They would go back into the green room just because they were enjoying themselves so much, just talking and getting to see other people. So, some people didn't even leave. even if they weren't on the actual gold carpet. So that part was really great.
Isn't that amazing? You'd actually go back to the room and chat with people?
Yes.
It
was
that's
great.
Pretty clever.
That part was really great. You got on the gold carpet. That was the second step, and then the third step was the press box, where you would be interviewed by the host. For just a couple minutes, and then you were able to leave after taking your picture on the gold carpet. And that's when I said people would go back into the green room to talk to other people that they were happy to see. So it was on that level, it was an absolute success. We achieved what no one else has done before. And yes, again, there are some kinks we have to work out and make it more smooth and
the technology and so on. Yeah. And and also, Angelique, the people that are coming on, a lot of them aren't technically savvy, but you also have
they're not.
A lot of
them actually became more savvy because of what we asked them to do. They had to have their background image on Zoom ready to go. They had to have their profile picture changed. Just a couple tweaks here and there, but they're actually learning the technology as they're working on trying to be on these programs and be on virtual on this virtual carpet. They had to do certain things and learn themselves, and that's wonderful,
And then you have the little flashes going off like they're there in the background.
Flashes.
Yeah.
If you were actually having your picture taken, that was fun.
And the media wall in back.
Just like the red carpet.
And
but in our case, that's golden carpet.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it's amazing because not only that, Angelique, you had to coordinate the time zones because you're talking about people that are, on the East Coast with a 3-hour difference, and then there's another gentleman I was talking to, and he said that was 2:30 in the morning because he was in England or something. So talking about coordinating, wow. Got to put that all together, and it
was a big feat. It was a big feat. So again, that's why I thank everyone for their patience and understanding as we're trying to do such a big.
So what do you think, Angelique? No, we have so much has changed, and now we're talking about, with so much going on with you get the fires, the politics, the pandemic. I mean, this is a lot at one time. It's like, what the heck's going on? So
yes, there's a lot.
Regarding what we're doing with the virtual, what do you think of the future with this? I mean, it's going to evolve, but do you think in the background, like as far as you're concerned, people are starting to think, hey, this is kind of cool hanging out at home. I'm an accountant. I'm a whatever. Why they're starting to think, why should I get in the car, go to the office, and the landlord or the boss is paying $10,000-$15,000 a month for his employees to come in, where the last several months they've been working from home and they're getting used to it and they're doing fine. Do you think this will stick around?
I think things are absolutely going to change in that respect, unless a boss requires someone to come into work for whatever reason, but. So many people can work remotely, and they realize they can indeed work remotely, and maybe that'll save some of the corporation heads some money, regarding overhead and things like that. And sure, work from home. Have Zoom meetings. We can all keep in touch that way, and it's a lot easier than driving in your car and parking and doing all that. I think it's absolutely going to change the way we do business from now on, even afterwards. In a good way. and
what's involved with the events.
What I think is important to realize, though, is that people need the connectivity with others, and even though they don't have to necessarily go. But they're going to want to go. They're going to want to go see their coworkers. The kids are going to want to go see their schoolmates and things like that. So we'll have that option, and that's what's going to be so fantastic about it,
You know what? That's a good point, Angelique. You know what I could see? I could see when they're looking on the calendar and they'll have V days. In other words, days where they can come in, but days where it'll be a virtual day where you or maybe an option, because people will. That's
have so many
absolutely
more
true.
Now.
Yeah, and when you talk about interpersonal communication, that's absolutely true because it can create a depression when you're not around people. So we get fed the energy other people have, I guess, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, people need people. It's true.
Yeah. And
just
so
like the song says.
maybe the happy medium would be kind of a balance. What would you say if Angelique had a work week? How many days would you want, virtual and in-person days? if you had an office?
If I was running an office, I would probably have them come in maybe 2 to 3 days a week, and the rest would be virtual and remote. And do meetings do the meetings on Zoom, because it's so much more convenience, and you see everybody, and you still get just as much work done, if not more, I think, being in that type of environment.
There was a movie one time, it was, I don't know, in the 60s or something, and it was about a corporate guy who owned corporations and so on and so forth. And they had it where they were competing with other businesses, and then he had a board meeting. And the point of the board meeting was everybody's doing business, but they don't see, and they had an issue with some clients dropping off, and they were big clients. So they had a board meeting, and the president threw these envelopes on the table. And they're going, what's this all about? And they were plane tickets all over the world to their people they work with, partners and, clients and so on. And he wanted all his people to fly out and have contact with them. And when they came back, they said it was very beneficial because they had dinner and they got to touch base and see what's going on. So it is important to have that. And like you say, maybe a balance. But we got the EZWay Wall of Fame Summit coming up. Who's that? Is that Eric?
Someone's here. Who's
There's
here?
Eric.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah,
we're just talking about the.
Eric?
Yeah. Hi. I'm so sorry. I was on the phone. I just
we got Angelique and myself, and we were talking about the virtual world, and everybody was so amazed by the.
You guys have Angelique. You don't need me. Angelique's got this.
Yeah, right. Of course we need
Eric.
But
you know what? We were saying that people are adapting to this virtual situation. They still need people, but maybe we could balance it out. But they were very impressed with the carpet, Eric. I mean, this was kind of a brown.
If you go to facebook.com/EZWay Awards, we made that last night. Over 40 people have liked it so far, and we already put a sizzle teaser video of the experience of the virtual gold carpet. And we also have the teaser video of next week's award ceremony. The actual show will air either next week or the week after. We're kind of seeing how production goes. But you guys will be pleasantly surprised if you go to that page or that group, which is EZWay Awards. So just look up EZWay Awards on Facebook. You'll see it.
Oh, cool. And we moved it to October.
Great.
We moved to October 5th because of the the overwhelming response.
It's either October 3rd or the next weekend after that. It all depends on the production schedule. But I will tell you this: after the gold carpet, we've gotten more celebrities that have contacted us that want to host. They want to be involved. They want to know when our next gold carpet is. That's why I couldn't be on time today, because I've had so many, quality level people contacting me interested in this thing. And I think we're the first virtual carpet ever. I think.
I think so.
I'm hoping that we go down in the history book.
I think you should give yourself an extra week. Make it more around maybe the 10th or the 17th, because this is getting so big on everybody's anticipation.
I don't think that would be fair to the fans, because they're really excited to see this thing. And I can't tell you how many people contacted me and my team that want to see who won the awards and the performances. Yeah. I mean, we have Grammy nominated and people that were on Prince's tours, and it's going to really be a spectacular show. So if we can get this thing ready by next weekend, that's our goal. That's what we're going after. We're also going to do another carpet, but more quality, only quality people and shorter. And we've learned a lot from the first one, because that was, a test run. We've never done it before. And we weren't expecting 320 people to show up wanting to be on the carpet. And so now we know exactly how we want to do it. The next time it's going to be apples and oranges. But it was pretty good for the first time, I think.
And I was saying October 5th. Correction. This would be October 3rd, Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of the show. So our next show is October 5th, but let's scratch that from October 5th to October 3rd, if we could put it together by then. And yeah, it is building a lot of momentum. And
well, it basically is all together. it's just some of the technical things because it's such a huge show. But we're really excited about it.
We had a pretty large quality studio that this thing was shot at, and I'll give you guys a little bit of behind the scenes. But Pat O'Brien from Access Hollywood Entertainment Tonight and CBS and all the stuff he's known for, Ms. America, Joanna Harabedian, and Tony Boldy is People's Mayor, and all these other amazing people were shooting on set, and the production value of this is pretty quality. We also have some of the top level editors that play with a lot of the mainstream studios on this thing, and so the team behind this thing, I honestly believe it's going to be one of the biggest and best productions we've ever done, and we've done 500 something events because we were able to bring in Tony Boldy, who's done thousands of films and projects, and Kevin Dorsey, who was a very big part of Michael Jackson's We Are the World tour and concert, and people like Angelique that has done multiple events and everybody knows what they're doing on this thing, and a production is based upon the team. And we really have a pretty incredible team on this thing, and we're getting tremendous response. And I also want to say a thank you and a shout out to our sponsors, BrainTap, BETV, of course JD3 TV, and Focus James, and Kenneth Bradley, and KTA, and a couple other ones I can't remember off the top of my head. You guys can go to EZWayWallOfFame.com. They're all on there that you can network with, and so the teamwork is just incredible on this thing, and it's all going to it should be there. You're going to notice it. You're going to understand it when you watch it. This is really going to be an incredible award show every year, not just this year, but every year. We have so many people wanting to be involved with the Wall of Fame now. It's pretty incredible. It really is.
It's amazing, yeah, what was built. And going into this new age of technology and everything, the timing is amazing for the EZWay Wall of Fame.
And I appreciate all my industry friends that have been calling me trying to find out how we did it, because obviously there's a big buzz and an interest of how we pulled off. You're literally watching Forbes Riley and Sharon Lecter and David, all these amazing people virtually, and how did they get on a carpet like that? How did we create the technology? How did we make actual flash photography, making it look like cameras are shooting you? And how do we manage that many people? How do you manage a virtual carpet? It's never been done. Never been done.
And plus, we were talking, Angelique was explaining about the you can actually go to different rooms, and while you're waiting to get on, talk to the people that are in there. That's pretty clever. I like that. Like instead of waiting in the line.
Very amazing. And then what's really cool too is this is not our first and only. We have probably 5 new clients that want us to do gold carpets for them. And by the way, we are only going to do gold carpets. We're not going to do anything else. And because it's God's golden carpet, there's a reason for this.
Exactly.
And we're really attracting all the light bringers. We're attracting a lot of people that want to unite the light. And people are getting very attracted to what this is. And it's a way to give you publicity and give you advertising, give you awareness, give you edification within a matter of 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I mean, they say 15 minutes of fame. Well, this is get you famous in 15 minutes or less than 15 minutes. And why are you getting famous? There's a why behind it. What are you using your fame for? What are you using the gifts that God gave you for? There's a lot more behind this thing that I think people are going to realize and they're going to want to be a part of. And I think that's why so many amazing people are behind this project. And we can take anybody that we want in the entire world and bring them onto a carpet, which is really technically being in front of your computer that looks like you're on a carpet. And we're talking about, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of press and major relationships that we've garnered over the last 20 years that can push you out there and make really quality people know about you. I can tell you we've had close to $4 million in deals and business go down off of the Wall of Fame so far. because of these live streams that are happening, and people can go on Roku and Apple and Amazon and our app, and they can watch this stuff. And we're getting multiple other shows, and they have people, and multiple networks, and they have people, and they're doing events, and and we're just the powering mechanism. And now that gold carpet is the center of attention of all of that, and everybody's going to want to start doing it. And it's going to create a domino effect. It's going to create a trend. It's going to create a movement that I think a lot of people are going to pick up and want to do themselves, and it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. And that light is going to keep getting brighter and brighter, and the darkness is going to get smaller and smaller that we're experiencing right now today.
Oh yeah, and it shines. It's when you watch it, it's amazing how they can make the gold and the letters or whatever actually kind of shine like you're looking at gold. That's I find that pretty intriguing. It's not like you're looking at just a color, and it's like you say. It used to be 2 tells 4 tells 6. Now it's 2 tells 40 tells 60,000. The way it's getting out there. I think the anticipation on this is one of the highest ratings I've ever seen. People are so anxious to get in, and then Angelique and I were saying you have the virtual scenarios, and people still want to get together eventually, and do business. And
I want to also give a shout out and give love to the people that are giving love to us, and I'd love to talk about some of the nominees and the honorees and the presenters and the legends that are on board this thing, and the people that showed up on the carpet. Kate Linder from Young and the Restless, Forrest Riley, billion-dollar infomercial, co-author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Sharon Lecter, Catherine Coven Pacino. You guys can go on and see who was
Brian
on
Willis,
there.
Billionaires Elite.
Brian Willis, Billionaires Elite, and Brian Willis is our biggest sponsor. He's our biggest supporter. You guys have no idea what BETV is getting ready to do. It's so incredible. I'm just so blessed. And then on the legends perspective, Lester Spates, who's been in every film imaginable, and We have a couple surprises, and we're waiting to the actual award show before we really announce them. But we're hoping to have some iconic figures involved with this thing, and also too Lila Colgan and Daniel and just other people that are doing shows with us. And there's just too many to mention. But you can go to Google and you can actually type in EZWay Awards. Golden Gala, or type in anything to do with the EZWay Awards, EZWay Wall of Fame Awards, really to be exact. And you'll see the NBC's picked this up, and the press release, and it's all there, and all the names and everything. And the Oscars, I believe, has like 150 nominees or something like that. We have like 130. And I also want to point out too that the Emmys just did their amazing award show. And by the way, shout out to my friend I've known for years, Regina King. I'm so happy that she won another Emmy. They didn't even do a carpet. You know what I mean? They didn't even do a carpet. The Grammys, the Oscars, I don't think any of them are going to be doing carpets because it's not easy to do unless they contact us. But I don't think they even thought about doing something like this. And so the EZWay Awards, which is nowhere near the Emmys or Oscars or Grammys, of course, but the EZWay Awards is one of the first. I know for a fact that we're the first award show virtual carpet in the way that we're doing God's golden carpet. But honestly, guys, just do me a favor, and I have to hop off now, Angelique. I'm gonna give it to you, but go to EZWay Awards on Facebook and follow that movement if you're on Facebook, and go to EZWayWallOfFame.com. Letter E, letter Z. EZWayWallOfFame.com. Create your account, be a part of the movement, watch and see. Everything's on that site, and we're developing the most incredible app imaginable that we can, and you guys are going to love it. So love you, Dad, and
congratulations.
It's amazing. She's amazing. She's going to take it away from here. I got to take off, guys.
Yeah, congratulations, Eric.
Thank you, Angela.
Amazing job, Eric. Very proud.
Okay, thanks, guys.
So long, guys. Yeah, Angelique, it's excitement in the air for sure, and
yes, absolutely.
And it's just,
I'm very proud
something.
of it. I'm very proud. There are always ways we can improve and do better, and that's what we're going to strive to do. And I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about the award ceremony and awarding all these incredible people for the work that they're doing and the difference that they're making.
It's called Kanai.
And how they're I'm sorry?
It's called Kanai, Angelique. In World War II, after the war, as far as the Pacific Theater goes with MacArthur, the Japanese were pretty much, the country was pretty much in ruins. So they started rebuilding, and they had an economics professor from the United States go over there and teach them basically getting back on their feet again, economically and everything. And they created a theory which they followed through with their cars, as you can tell. It's the theory of Kanai, constant and never-ending improvement. And everything they developed when they started getting into automotive and everything, it was never enough. They had to constantly improve on it. And I did research on their boat engines when I had a boat. And they said no matter, they had this amazing engine, outboard engine, but it wasn't enough. They had to keep improving on it. And it got to the point where it was indestructible.
Exactly.
Amazing. And now with this virtual stuff going on, every day there's something new, some kind of new technology. The only problem with this, Angelique, is when you buy a computer, then it's like, is that the best they got? So you try to buy it with everything, and then you find out a week later, they got a new one that has this and this. So hopefully you're going to attach.
Well, that's the case with everything.
Yeah. But with that, guys, I think Radio Boomers Live, it's about time to sign off here. And we want to thank our amazing guests for coming on, Carmelita's Corner, and Dave and Eugene Anders with his Empires and Kingdoms. And thank you, Angelique, for popping on with us. And
thank you. And a huge shout out to the Goldson Carpet team, especially Michelle Finnegan-Nixon and Adam Blaney, who really made it work,
Oh,
they're
totally.
the team that made it work. So, and thank you for everyone who came on and shared in the love and the joy of it.
Oh, exactly. I don't know how they did it, but some people have the mindset where they can handle all this technology and orchestrate it and so on and so forth. It's not me. I have to take a breath just thinking about it. But thank you all. and we're talking about, what do you think, Angelique? October 3rd, possibly?
Yes,
for,
October 3rd.
Follow up here on the EZWay Awards Virtual Golden Gala. EZWay Wall of Fame.
Great.
Virtual Golden Gala. Till then, guys, Radio Boomers Live is going to be signing out here, so keep moving, keep the faith, and Radio Boomers Live is out.
Thank you for listening to Radio Boomers Live with your hosts, Reatha Gray, Star Betty White's Off Their Rockers, and EZ's dad, Jim Zuley. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Radio Boomers Live. Radio Boomers Live is brought to you by the EZWay Broadcasting Network. That's the letter E, the letter Z, Broadcasting Network.